back to RS Sim Racing and Motorsports. So we're here in front of our Nissan 240SX donor car. I'm about to pull out the seat. We're going to use it to build a sim rig. Kind of do it on the cheap. Record it, show you how it's done. It's something that you can probably do from home without spending a bunch of money. You just need to find a local pull-it junkyard or something like that. It's just a few bolts, pull it out, and get to it.
Alright, so in this 240SX, and probably most cars, taking the seat out, we're gonna take it with the mounting bracket and everything. It's gonna be 4 bolts, and I'm gonna show you where they're at. Alright, we got bolt 1, bolt 2. A lot of times they're covered. Well, I'll show you later. And here, so here, board, and then back here, these bolt 3, and bolt 4. They're gonna be covered by plastic, so just have to pull it off.
Alright, I'm in the garage. We're going to build a frame structure to mount the seat to as the starting point for building the wooden sim rig. This is a DIY project. I've got a little bit of experience with the tools and stuff, but I'm no carpenter. So definitely DIY, do it in your garage kind of level build. I've done a little bit of thinking, planning with kind of how I want it to go together, but not a whole lot. It's going to kind of be improvised, so we'll see how it goes.
Alright, so what I've done so far is basically make the mounting points, essentially wood brackets for the mounting points to mount the sliding mechanism to the rig I'm building. I had to solve a couple problems of geometry. The first is that these 2 points are at a 45-degree angle. To solve that, I put this put a 45-degree cut in here, so now that it's level with the ground.
The next issue is that the height of these two are offset. This one's higher up. So I took a chunk out of here. Make sure there's clearance for this bar. This will all be different depending upon what car seat you pull it out of. No one project is going to be the same. This is just what I had to do. The next issue was this on the back. This sits lower than on the other side, so I had to take about half of the width of this 2x4. This piece is half the width out of it, and that got to sit about level. And then I had to create, dropped it, essentially this is to, since the actual bolt is angled perpendicular to the rest of the boards, I'm not going to be able to, I can either try to find a metal bracket, or I just decided to essentially create an insert to kind of hold it in place. It'll slide into, the leg will just slide into here, and that way, and I'll screw this down to the other board, and it won't move around. It won't be quite as secured, but 3 of the 4 points will be secured, and this one won't be able to move back and forward when it gets when you adjust the seat position. So I think that'll solve that issue. We'll see. If not, I'll create an actual bracket or come up with something else. The next part of the project is to mount the seat mount onto the rectangular base that I'm going to build. Essentially, these 2 pieces of 2x4 are 1 stick of 12 cut in half. That should give me plenty of length. I already took measurements from the race car about how far the seat is from the pedals and the wheel and such to give us a base point. Because my dad and I are so tall, we had headroom issues with the helmet and the roll bar and the top of the car. So we put a lot of angle into the car, and we were kind of slid forward, probably a little bit more than we would have been comfortable for. So I imagine I'll have to make some adjustments, but that'll be the starting point. Also, this piece is longer to kind of give it a little bit of an angle. The race car had quite a bit of angle, but again, a little bit probably excessive, just to try to get to fit inside of it. But still a little bit of angle, so you're kind of sitting a little bit down and help with some recline. So yeah, I'll get, and then the other element is I'm gonna leave a little bit of extra room in the back, just to prevent any sort of tilt, rock back, fall backward tendency if you put any weight at the top of the seat. You know, there should be counterweight in the form of the rig and the TV, but just so it's all stable, I'm going to leave about maybe half a foot, 6 inches or something like that back to act as a stabilizing arm against that roll or the tendency to tilt it back. Yeah, so get to it.
Okay, here's an update for the project. I'm currently at the point where I have the box built and the seat bracket glued and screwed into place. I've added this extra little piece here to try to give it a little bit of stability against the up and down forces of getting in and out of the seat. So that doesn't, I was a little concerned that might break along this line here. So I added this little extra piece. Hopefully that'll do the job. I've got these three legs cut for the right height to hold up the tabletop for the steering wheel base and the TV. I haven't done the fourth yet because I'm going to attempt to do a diagonal piece to leave a little bit extra leg room when crawling in and out of the rig. It's going to be up against, the wall is going to be up against here, so we'll enter and leave from the left, so try to leave some extra leg room. And then I'm thinking I might put in some sort of another diagonal piece here as like a handhold or something to help give you something to grab onto. Might make it easier to crawl in and out of. I've done a rough cut of the tabletop. Also next I'll need to mock up the wheelbase and this TV and figure out the final shaping and cut of it. The pedal mount, I finished the piece that'll mount to the pedals. That should, I'm waiting to place it because it's hard to get the the screw to get to the bolt to screw in the pedals to the pedal mount. You have to come in from the outside, which is, since it's sitting below the frame, you can't get your fingers in there when it's mounted, so I'll paint that, mount it, and then screw it in last. And I won't glue it, so I can unscrew it if I need to move it or adjust the position or something like that. I think that's the update. I think that's where we're at. Okay, so we're gonna end part 1 here. We'll pick up part 2 with the final cut of the tabletop for the TV and wheelbase, and we'll move on from there into painting and final assembly with all the pieces together.